The 4-Hour Workweek.
4-Hour Workweek.
4-Hour Workweek.
The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss.
It's disgusting.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
About 6 years ago, I read this book called The 4-Hour Workweek. And you know what? I actually achieved the 4-hour workweek and I hated it. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I achieved the 4-hour workweek and also why it made me depressed. And even if the 4-hour workweek is not your goal, I still think that every single entrepreneur needs to read this book. About 9 years ago, I had just graduated college with a master's degree and I got my first real job working at one of the biggest tech companies in Silicon Valley. I was living the American dream. All my friends and family thought that I had made it. And as my ego got boosted, I started to believe this as well. But as time went on, I realized that I wasn't really contributing much to my job. I was simply another cog in the wheel. I didn't really see a big desire or passion to do something with their lives other than just getting another paycheck. Now you may have heard that the salaries in Silicon Valley are pretty high. In fact, they're sky high. But in reality, most people who work over there, they barely live paycheck to paycheck. And that's because the cost of living in California is super high, the taxes are also super high. So in reality, even though you might be making a lot of money on paper, your expenses are also so high that if you were to lose your job, then you wouldn't be able to survive more than a couple months unless you had massive savings. In fact, I could barely afford to live there. I had to live an hour away from work because it was cheaper to live there. And after changing a couple of jobs, I was still stuck in the rat race. I thought maybe if I change this job, maybe if I go to a smaller company, then things might change. I might be able to contribute more to this company. But because of the corporate structure, I wasn't a fan of it. It was the same routine every single day. You wake up, you get ready for work, commute 1 hour to work in traffic, you sit there 9 to 5 and drive back at least an hour in traffic again. And by the end of the day, you're so drained that you don't even have time for yourself. So I thought to myself, this is insanity. Then one day, as I was stuck in traffic, I thought to myself, why not do something more productive with my time here? So I heard of this app called Audible and I got a free trial for it. And as I was browsing through the Audible app, a really catchy title came up, The 4-Hour Workweek. And I thought to myself, wait a minute, 4-hour workweek? So here I was working at least 40 hours a week and I see a book with a picture of a guy on it chilling on a hammock. And it read, escape the 9 to 5, live anywhere and join the new rich. And I thought to myself, are you kidding me? There's no way. This seems like a scam or one of those get rich quick schemes.
Hello, how come I rich and you not? How come you not sell real estate like I do? How come I sleep with your wife while you at work? You know why? Because I'm smart. I'm smart, you stupid. Call now.
I didn't even know what the content of this book was gonna be about. I just couldn't get this book out of my mind and I could almost hear the book calling my name. It was almost like Morpheus from the Matrix was right in front of me and was offering me the red pill and the blue pill. And I had to make the choice. The red pill being the 4-hour workweek. But I got this feeling that this book had the answer to what I was looking for. So this book came out in 2009 and the internet as we know it today was nothing like this back then. But the author, Tim Ferriss, was able to leverage technology to his advantage so that he could live the lifestyle that he wanted and not be stuck in a 9 to 5 job. And that kind of lifestyle, the new rich as they call it, or the digital nomads, really appealed to me because I didn't want to be stuck in an office all day. I wanted to be able to enjoy my work, but also travel and have the freedom to do what I want, at least in terms of my timings. This whole working system is relatively new when it comes to our human history. In fact, for thousands of years, humans were actually employed in agriculture or some sort of trade. Now, in agriculture, you could put in a certain amount of work and expect a certain amount of yield at the end of the year. But if you worked harder than that, or if you worked longer hours, or even if you employed more people, that did not necessarily increase your productivity. Then came the industrial age in the 1760s, where if you worked one shift and if you could produce X amount of units in 1 hour, then your productivity in 8 hours would be 8 times that. Let's say you could produce 10 units in 1 hour, then it would be expected that you would produce 80 units at the end of the day. But unfortunately, in the information age, that's not how productivity works. Yet we are stuck in a cycle of working an X amount of hours, even though that does not directly contribute to productivity. And this makes sense. The results matter, not how much time you spend in the office. Yet it's so hard to live a lifestyle of freedom. Doesn't matter if you're producing results. Most companies will not appreciate if you're not in the office, working 8 hours a day. And we all know this, time is the most valuable resource we have, yet we voluntarily trade our time for money every single day, even though time is more valuable than money. So the first thing this book did for me is that it really opened my eyes to reality. Just like the Matrix, when Neo wakes up and sees the real world, I could see things differently. I also got a lot of ideas regarding setting up systems for passive income. In order to launch my first business, which is not active anymore, so the first thing I did was I started a blog, I started all these social media channels, and I started making content around the fitness niche. I was really passionate about fitness because I had gone through my own fitness transformation a few years ago. As a kid, I was morbidly obese, and after losing about 125 pounds and keeping the weight off for many years, and then eventually going on to compete in powerlifting, I decided to share my journey with people, and I knew I could build a business around it. So I started a website called Underdog Strength, where I used to post blog posts which had detailed articles on strength training and nutrition and even motivation. And I also started posting content on YouTube and Instagram and other channels. And by doing some basic SEO, I was able to generate a lot of traffic onto my website and build an email list, which is typically what a lot of internet marketers do. They use content marketing to build a brand, build a presence, attract their ideal clients, and then they monetize that audience using email list or other platforms out there. So that's how I started my own business. I got a few coaching clients for my business, but then I soon shifted my business to a different niche, which was marketing, which was my background. I soon found that the fitness niche was great. It wasn't really that exciting for me as I thought it would be, but my marketing skills definitely got sharpened because of my fitness business that I built. And since my background was in corporate marketing, I was able to build a marketing agency. Utilizing a lot of the ideas from the 4-Hour Workweek, I still use them to this date. For example, all of the employees of our company are all remote, and this is way before work from home became a thing. This book was talking about these concepts 13 years ago, which was so ahead of its time. So having remote employees has definitely been a key thing in my business, which gives me a lot of freedom. It gives our team the freedom to work from anywhere, but it also gives me the freedom to work from anywhere. And because of this, I've been able to travel to so many different cities, even internationally, while still keeping my business going. The second thing I learned from this book was, in addition to hiring remote team members, is to have systems so that even if you're not in the business, the systems will get the work done for you. And this means training your team on certain systems, also utilizing software that does a lot of automation. Because if you don't have systems, then you're simply working in the business and you're not working on the business. I learned this from a book called The E-Myth, The Entrepreneur Myth, where it makes a distinction between working in your business and on your business. And this book also taught me a lot of practical productivity tips, such as not checking your email all the time, because emails are rarely productive. We think we're doing a lot of work by doing things like email, but in reality, that time and energy and that mental attention is being taken away from your work. All of these things have really freed up my time to work on the things that are most important, the things that are going to generate revenue for the business, customer relations, all of that stuff, and everything else that is part of my business is being taken care of by team members who specialize in those things. So that being said, I was actually able to achieve the 4-hour work week. Most of the work in the business was working like clockwork. I had built this machine that was operating on its own, and even if I checked in with my team members only 1 hour a day, the business would still keep running. But after 2 or 3 weeks went by, I actually took a vacation, I went out of town, I was sitting at the beach, just like the 4-hour work week cover, and I thought to myself, wow, I actually achieved the 4-hour work week. But then I soon started to get really bored. I'm like, I need to go home now. I started getting all these ideas about my business, how I'm going to expand. So the 4-hour work week was not very sustainable for me. The work itself is a reward. If you do work that is fulfilling, if this is something that you're passionate about, then you won't even care about taking a vacation. Why do all these billionaires and super rich people who are already successful have made it? They don't need to work a single day in their lives. Why do they keep working so hard? Why does Elon Musk keep working, I don't know, like 60 hours a week or 80 hours a week? Who knows? He's the richest man in the world. Well, the thing is, again, if you're an entrepreneur, you probably have that mindset where you want to achieve something that's greater than yourself. So the work by itself becomes a reward. So I definitely experienced that for myself. And that's why I think the 4-hour work week is not a good goal for people. It's a nice book title. But that being said, I also think that you should achieve the 4-hour work week at least once in your lifetime. For all the most important things, the timing always sucks. Waiting for a good time to quit your job, the stars will never align, and the traffic lights of life will never all be green at the same time. So let me know in the comment section down below if you're planning on achieving the 4-hour work week, because life is simply too short to not live the way you want. And especially in this day and age where we have the resources available, and we live in a time where this is more possible than ever before. If an average guy like me can do it, then you can do it as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.